Welcome, everybody. My thought for you is, since we just passed the equinox, was on the 22nd, and along with that on the 21st is what's considered, or it's been called, the International Day of Peace, and Cheryl's birthday. So if you didn't say happy birthday to her, don't forget, tell her happy birthday. But the 21st, the International Day of Peace, and many years ago, and I think that some people still do this, there was this concept going around. They called it the Global Mala Project. And on that day, the idea was that many yoga studios and places, and just yogis in general, would choose to practice on that day with the shared dedication of creating peace in the world, right? So everyone's practice that day was meant to be dedicated towards creating peace. And it was a beautiful thing. And then, like I said, I think many places probably still participate in that in some way, but it doesn't have the same presence that I remember it having years ago. But what had occurred to me is that on that day, the practices that people were doing were typically above and beyond what they would normally do. So it wasn't just get up and do your regular yoga practice that day. It was get up and do 108 sun salutes, or it was get up and do, this practice that you would never do on a normal day. It was to dedicate a practice that's 3 hours long or 6 hours long, spend the entire day practicing, right, with that intention. And so the thought that I've been having, right, is that concept of that creating peace in the world is not just your everyday actions, the things that you would normally do just as a habitual thing, but that mala aspect of it, right, is there's a repetition to it. And it's also, do you let yourself go above and beyond, right? Do you let yourself go above and beyond what is your normal way that you feel that you are dedicated to creating peace, right? Because we can say as yogis or as human beings that we're dedicated to it on some level in our mind. We're like, absolutely, I always hold that thought, I always hold that prayer, but we don't always let ourselves enact it in the world in big ways, right? We say, well, the little ways are good enough, and they are. And also, when you let yourself go above and beyond, then it breaks you open a little more. And when you break open a little more, what comes through you into the world is even more, right? So this is what I've been contemplating in myself, or where are the places in your life right now, this instant, not before or tomorrow, but right now, where you can let yourself go above and beyond, right? And we have this concept in yoga, we call it selfless service or karmic service. And it's acting in a way where you expect absolutely no recognition and no reward. Right? That's what it means to be in that selfless place where you're doing what you're doing for the benefit of those that you may never meet and who will never know that you were the one that did whatever you did. So this is that concept of how can you act in a way that is beyond your habitual, normal, this is what I always do, and can I practice my life in this big way where I am doing things knowing that the real goal, the real desire is to simply create a world where no one has to suffer. And how can my life be in dedication to that, right? So eyes closed if you're not there already. And to contemplate, again, if that's already in your mind that you say, yeah, I already am trying to do that to the best of my ability. Is there a way that you can let yourself go above and beyond? Even if it's only for a moment or a day, it doesn't have to be that you add in 1,000 more things into your schedule. But can you let yourself go above and beyond? Spend an hour practicing instead of 10 minutes. Find a place where there can be direct action that you take instead of something that is behind the scenes. Whatever is your habit that you are working towards building that peaceful world, how can you go above and beyond? Deep breath in, because this is the idea, is that what we give back to the world recycles and comes back to us. That's that mala. It's continuously repeating itself. So if what you're giving is a small piece of yourself, what you receive back is a small piece. And if you're able to just give more of yourself, doesn't mean you have to do more. You give because there's a need. And knowing that will come back to you is a world that is more open because you're more open. So really, really deep breaths. And if any guilt exists in your mind now that you're suddenly like, I don't do enough, drop it. Because the selfless action is not about trying to evade guilt even. And simply looking at what is it that I give to the world and how much do I hold back because I'm afraid I won't have enough. And can you go above and beyond? Prove to yourself that you can go above and beyond. Bring the palms together at the heart center, please. Or keep them where they are. We'll open with the sound of Om, deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. Release your hands, please. Then come forward onto hands and knees. Do a little cat and cow just to warm up your spine. So inhaling, getting long. Exhaling, curling in. Good. The mantra that we have, the easiest one to translate to this concept of the universal good is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And we often forget, right? We're easy with the first part of the translation, which is may all beings be happy, may all beings be peaceful, may all beings be free from suffering. But what's included in this, whether it is expressly written or not, is that may my life be dedicated to that, which means that as long as there is any being that is suffering, may my life be a service to ending that suffering. My contribution, that I am taking away the reasons that that suffering exists through my own efforts, my own interaction. And that I do it because that being is suffering, not because I want to have or feel or experience something for myself. Right? It's practicing that all beings are one being. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Spread the fingers wide, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good. Come up on the tippy toes of your feet, round into your back body, so round into your ribs, then pull the armpits forward over your wrists like you're coming into plank, but stay rounded. Just bring the shoulders forward, forward, forward. Lift your chest up like you're in plank up on your tippy toes, so Carolina, come forward more. There you go. And then scoop the belly again, pull your hips back to down dog. So you never fully settle into that plank pose. Good. And then same thing, up on the tippy toes, roll forward, rounding your back like you're coming into plank. I want you to drop your hips so that you're pretty much in plank. You're just continuing to pull up through your rib cage. Good. And then hips to the sky, back to downward facing dog with the heels soften. Again, you're lengthening, but you're not dropping. And then lift the hips, come up on the tippy toes, roll forward, round your ribs back towards plank. Good, lift your chest, you're there, but you're pulling the ribs up, good. And then hips to the sky, press back, downward facing dog. Good, and just pause there, maybe bend the alternate knees, pressing the opposite heel down, wiggling the hips. Good, and then steady the heels towards the floor. Nice, walk your feet forward towards your hands. Good, standing forward fold. Beautiful. And then inhale the arms around and up, come to stand, reaching to the sky. Fingertips come together if they can. If they can't, that's fine, but fingertips together, pull up, stretch up, heart to the sky. And then exhale, bow forward, stretch the arms out and down as you come forward. Nice, inhale, lift and lengthen, come up halfway. So fingertips onto the shins, front of the legs or blocks. Exhale, bow forward. Good, step your right leg back. Good, drop the knee, inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Nice, release the hands down to the floor. We are doing sun salutes, not 108 though. Lift that back knee, step back plank pose. If I had time for 108, we might. Lower down slow. Good. Rise up, cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath long and deep. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Good. Left foot comes forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale the arms around and up like you're gathering the air. Good. Hands come straight down. Exhale, hands at the heart. Beautiful. Inhale, stretch the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward, stretching the arms around and down if you can. Inhale, lift up halfway, fingertips to the floor, shins, blocks. Exhale, bow deeply. Left leg steps back behind you, drop the knee. Inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good, deep breath. And then release the hands down to the floor. Lift that back knee, step back plank. That's your inhale. Lower down slow, exhale. As long as you are going down, you're exhaling. Inhale, rise up cobra. Keep the inhale going. And then as you begin to exhale, come back downward facing dog. Pull those hips to the sky. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands. That's still an inhale. And then right foot steps forward. Exhale all the way out. Good. Inhale the arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Nice. Inhale, lengthen, lift up. Again, keep your breath deep. Exhale, bow. Right leg steps back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Yeah. Release the hands down. Step back, plank pose. All finding the inhale there. Lower down slow on an exhale. Rising up, inhale. There's only one breath and you're joining it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot steps forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Exhaling all the way. Inhaling the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, lengthen, come halfway up. Exhale, bow deeply. Left leg steps back, drop the knee, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Pressing into that front heel. Let yourself go a little deeper, pelvis forward. That's it. Hands to the floor. Step back, plank. Find the inhale. Good. And then lower down, find the exhale. Nice. Point your toes. Rise up, cobra. Inhale. Back of the heart pulls back. Throat pulls back. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands on the inhale. Right foot steps forward. Exhale all the way on the forward fold. Good. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. One more round. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bow deeper. Every repetition is a chance to go deeper. Right leg steps back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky. Good. Pull up through the sides of your waist. That's it. Hands to the floor, step back, plank. Find the inhale. Lower down, exhale. Rise up, cobra, inhale. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Don't find the position and stop. You are in continuous motion. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot steps forward as you bow. Exhale, drop the head. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart, even though your spine is still reaching long. Inhale the arms around and up. Press through your heels. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Hips stay lifted. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bow deeply. Navel in and up. Left leg drops, steps back behind you. Drop the knee. Arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Your best one yet. Let your pelvis go forward. Pull up through the sides of your waist. Good. Hands to the floor. Step back, plank. Find the inhale. Lower down slow. Find the exhale. Rise up, cobra. Inhale. Good. Still lifting. As long as you're inhaling, you're lifting. Exhale, downward facing dog. As long as you're exhaling, your hips are going to the sky and you're reaching through your heels and through your hands. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Inhale. Good. Right foot steps forward all the way. Exhale. Bow. Good. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good. Pause. Anjali Mudra. How may I serve? How may I go above and beyond what I have decided is enough, that fits into my daily routine, because I'm really busy living my own life. And of course I have the desire for all other beings to be free from suffering, but I'm busy. And this is me too. So is there a moment where you can let yourself go above and beyond? Even just holding greater space for beings you usually don't look at or ignore. Good. Pull the right knee up and towards your chest. Good. Use your hands. You don't have to keep your hands in Anjali Mudra unless you want to. Good. Pull the top of that left thigh way up and back as you squeeze that knee in. Beautiful. And then you're going to send that leg back behind you as you take your torso forward into Warrior Three. So again, hands can come to the heart center, or you can stretch the arms forward, or even reach back. Extend the arms back behind you. Good. If your arms are extended back behind you, I want you to feel like you're hugging something between your hands so that your shoulders stay really awake. Nice, you guys. And then let the hands touch down to the floor or block, standing split. Good. Bend your standing knee. So that's your left knee bends. Yeah, so the leg that's in the air can bend too if it wants to, or keep it straight, but bend your standing knee. Move your inner knee a little wider. Pull your left butt cheek way back. Scoop that low belly. Good. And then kick your right thigh a little higher while the knee is bent. Nice. And now start to straighten your left leg again without letting that knee roll back in. So keep pulling the top of your left thigh way back. Good. Right hip down towards the floor, Linda. There you go. Nice, you guys. Step all the way back. Nice long lunge. Drop the knee, Anjaneyasana. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Woo. I know. Good. Hands at heart center, please. Good. Begin to twist to your left, but don't reach to hook the elbow yet. Stay upright and just begin to twist to your left. Good. Don't hook the elbow. Keep your right shoulder and left shoulder in the same line. Keep your hips in the same line. So that back hip has to pull forward and up. Your left butt cheek has to pull back and in. Good. Now go ahead and take that prayer twist, hooking the elbow, but keep pushing the inner thighs away from each other. And as you come forward, you're not hunching forward, but you're actually lengthening that right side body. Good. So drag your armpits down towards your hips. Nice. Throat back. Awesome, you guys. Come back to center. Inhale, arms to the sky. Steady legs. Yeah, take a look at what your front knee just did. Good. Yeah, look down. See what your knee just did. There you go. If you had to adjust it, notice that you had to adjust it. Hands down to the floor. Good. Lift that back knee, please. Awesome. Step your right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight Parsvottanasana. Yeah. When your knees wiggle in like that, that's your hips saying tight. Good. Nice, you guys. Many of you missed on Monday, I taught my master class on triangle, and we did a lot of outer hip stuff. Considering making you do some of that outer hip stuff. One more deep breath. Awesome. And then go ahead and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Slide forward to plank pose. Good. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Rise up into cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. Downward facing dog. Awesome. Look forward between the hands. Step or jump your feet to the top of your mat, your choice. Nice job if you jumped. Good. I am going to give you this, though, that if you are practicing with yourself jumping, that the goal is not to land in a squat. The goal is to basically be able to land in a standing forward fold. So your hips go super, super high in that jump so that your feet can land softly and you're in a standing forward fold, just so you know. Hands to your hips, come all the way up to stand. Good. You want to become weightless when you are jumping. Left knee up and towards your chest. Good. Squeeze it in. Yeah. Take the top of your right thigh way up and back. Good. And then you're sending your left leg back behind you as your torso comes forward to warrior three. So you really have to get that lift of your pelvis. Keep pushing up through the back of your sacrum, and then hands can be at heart center. You can reach back towards your feet if you'd like, or arms forward. Good. If you're reaching back, I want you to just hug those arms so that there's a feeling of stability in your shoulders. Nice, you guys. Butt high. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor or block standing split. Good. Turn those left toes down towards the floor because now your hands are on the floor. So you have fewer excuses. Turn those toes down. Bend your standing knee. Good. So the right knee bends, the leg that's holding you up. Good. And as that knee bends, push that inner knee a little wider towards the middle of your foot or the baby toe. Pull that right butt cheek back and in. Scoop your belly. Kick your left heel higher, left inner thigh higher. That's it. And then start to straighten that right leg again without letting your knee wiggle out of that alignment. Keep pulling the top of the thigh, the top of the hip back. Awesome. Kick that left heel higher. There it goes. Nice, Laura. Good, Linda, turn that left hip down. There you go. Even more. Even more. Keep going. Keep turning it down. There it is. Good. Step all the way back. Nice long lunge. Good. Drop the back knee. Inhale the arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Again, using a blanket underneath the back knee if you need, having it on the floor. Hands at heart center. Look at where your front knee is pointing. Point it at second or third toe. There you go. And then start to twist to your right without immediately trying to hook the elbow. I just want you to twist. I want you to try and find the deepness of a prayer twist without hooking the elbow. And as you do that, that left hip is probably going to fall towards the floor and your right butt cheek is going to pop up towards the ceiling. Do the opposite. Pull that right thigh crease down, push your left hip wide, and then turn your trunk again. Good. Now hook the elbow. Yeah. Pull the belly back away from your thigh. Nice. Armpits draw down towards your hips and heart pushes towards the crown of your head. Crown of your head lengthens away from your tail. Nice, you guys. Good. Keep scooping that belly so that you have space to be able to bring your right knee forward more. Good. And your spine is in this really long angle. So the top of your head is in the same line as your back knee. Awesome. Come back to center, please. Arms to the sky. Nice. And then release the hands to the floor. Look at if your knee wiggled in. Yeah, it's okay if it did. Lift your back knee. Step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight Parsvottanasana. Use blocks if you'd like. Good. Selfless service. All right, what happens when, I like the metaphor of this global mala is that there's one energy that is being repeated over and over. That's the idea, is that you're joining into that one energy being repeated over and over. And the mala are the beads that we use for meditation practice, mantra practice. And with mantra meditation is the mantra itself is a living energy. So the more you repeat it, the more you disappear into the mantra. Till eventually there's just the mantra repeating itself and you don't even have a sense of you repeating it. It's just there. So that's the same presence or the same foundation for true selfless action, is that can I let myself disappear into the need that's there, into fulfilling that need because it's there to be fulfilled and I have the ability to do it. And I have the desire to do it if you have the desire. So it's not that you give yourself away, but that you simply forget that there was any you that was different from the one who is receiving your action. No, that sounds complicated. Good. Nice, you guys. Step forward, top of your mat, please. Good. Bring your feet together, big toes and inner heels to touch. Yep, hands on blocks if you need, or so hands on blocks if you can't comfortably reach the floor. Come up onto your tippy toes. Yep, you're gonna bend your knees out wide like a little frog, drop your hips down to your heels, stay on your tippy toes, and then you're gonna press your hips back up to the sky, straighten your legs. Still up on tippy toes. Good, and then bend your knees, drop your hips wide. These are called frogs. Yep, and then stretch your hips up to the sky, straighten the legs, up on the tippy toes. Good, again, keep going. Bend the knees, drop, and then lift your hips, straighten. That's it, keep going. Bend your knees and straighten. Good, keep going with your breath. Exhaling as you drop down. Actually, inhaling as you drop down, exhaling as you lift up. Good. Inhaling into the frog, exhaling into the fold. Beautiful. Keep going. Nice. Again, there's a magic in this sort of repetitive practice because it takes you out of that sense of accomplishment. Takes you out of the sense that what you're doing is supposed to have an outcome that you're happy with, and instead you just get lost in the flow. It's the concept of the global mala. That's a concept of there being a shared experience, a oneness. So how are you embodying that with your life? Or are you content to just continue to do what you've already established as this is enough? And if it doesn't take me out of myself, well, that's okay. And it is okay. But can you go for a moment a little closer to the place where you disappear? I didn't say stop. I didn't say stop and you haven't gotten to 50 yet. Good. Nice, you guys. Next time the legs come to straight, stay there. Oh, separate your feet as wide as your mat. Good. Bend your knees softly. Hold opposite elbows and hang. It's funny, you end up doing frogs a lot in Kundalini practice, and depending on the instructor, sometimes they're kind and tell you how many you're going to do so that at least your mind knows. Sometimes they don't tell you and they just say, keep going until I tell you to stop. So actually, I don't know which is kinder, because if you can practice just going until you're asked to stop, and that's freeing you from a lot of that expectation of, if I accomplish this, I will get a reward. If I accomplish this, I will feel this way. Good. Release the hands, please. Heel toe your feet a little closer. Step back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. That should feel pretty good. And then slide forward to plank. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you'd like. Good. Rise up cobra, because why not? Good. And then exhale, release back to your belly, please. Flip over onto your back. Good. Nice. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Good. Cross your right thigh on top of your left, wrapping the legs like you would for eagle. Yep. And then taking your left arm over top of the right in front of your chest, taking the arms into eagle as well on your back. Good. So have the feet awake, even though they're not pushing into anything right now. Flex your feet anyway, just so that you have the strength of your shins and your ankles all aligned. Good. Don't let your hands rest on your face, please. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Finding the back of your rib cage, so drawing your armpits down towards the floor. Try to keep those shins parallel to the floor. Nice. And then a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring the knees and the elbows towards each other, round your back, lift your shoulders, squeeze in. Good. And then find your spine again. Relax the shoulders, keep the legs up. Just bring your shins forward until you find your lower back, pressing into the floor. And pause there. Yep, don't drop your hands onto your face, I know. Should not be harder to do this pose on the floor than it is standing up. Good. Unwind your legs, please. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Good. Somehow it is harder to do it on your back, I know. Good. Scoot your hips over to the right, please. Drop your knees to the left. Keep the knees stacked on top. Stretch that right arm out wide. No, you're not preparing for Shavasana. Nice try. Good. International Day of Peace. If there is one day that everybody was really 100% focused on the effort of creating peace, if we went above and beyond, every one of us on that day, what would it look like? Come back to center. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right. Left arm goes wide, keep the knees stacked on top. above and beyond with no thought to recognition. It's the interesting one. Is what does your mind rationalize about what you do and what you don't do, and how much is enough? And how much you're sure means that it's going to prove to you that you're not enough. How much do you hang back from your greatness? So an International Day of Peace, how are you participating in that every day? And can you embody it bigger now because the need is so great? And no one may ever say thank you to you. Even more reason to act selflessly. Come back to center. Good. Knees in towards the chest, cross the left thigh on top of the right. Wrapping the inner thighs and outer shins. Right arm comes in front of left, in front of your chest. Wrap the arms. Again, not letting the forearms or the hands fall onto your face. Keep your shins parallel with the floor if you can. Flex your feet. There you go, Anju. Good. And then your shins, again, parallel to the floor. So you should feel your lower back, the tip of your tail reaching down to the floor. It's going to challenge your lower belly a little bit. That's okay. And then those lower armpits are drawing down towards the floor so that your chest is staying really open. Nice. Good. And then a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring the elbows and the knees towards each other. Curl in, lift your shoulders. Keep your throat long. Good. And then release back, finding your spine. Shoulders find the floor. Low back finds the floor. Don't give up on the pose. Keep squeezing your shins together. Yeah, keep squeezing the shins together. That's it. Nice. Don't drop the hands onto your face. I see you. Good. And then slowly release. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Good. Come into happy baby. Draw the knees wide. Reach for your ankles or your feet. Good. I know you were all excited to be on the floor so early in class. Good. And then bring the knees back in towards the chest, please. Good. Holding behind the thighs. So find that 90-degree angle again with your shins, holding behind the thighs. Start to engage your belly. Roll on your spine, forward and back, like you're going to come up to sit. And then as you come up, find where you can balance in boat pose, resting on the sit bones, shins parallel to the floor. So I don't want to see your shins flailing around. Good. I want you to stay really in that controlled structure. Shoulders up. Nice. And then roll back again. Yep, roll a couple of times. Keep that angle of the shins and the knees steady. Come up and balance. Chest up. Pull those armpits back. Pull your thighs down and up into the hip socket. Nice. And one more time, roll back. Good. Hold the steadiness. Hold the structure. That's it. And then find your way, balancing on the sit bones again, chest up. Pull your thighs towards your belly towards your thighs. Extend the legs out to straight for a moment. Arms up, legs up, go. Arms all the way up, legs all the way up, go. There you go. And release, come to sit. Nice job, you guys. Scoot your butt back, stretch your legs forward. Turn around if you're facing the back of your mat. Legs straight out in front of you. Inhale the arms to the sky. Just so that I'm not looking at your backs the whole time. It doesn't matter which way you're facing. Good. Bow forward, Paschimottanasana. Legs straight out. There you go. Good. Nice, you guys. One more breath. Bend your elbows if you're holding your feet. Lift your chest forward more. That's it. And then release the hands, please. Good. Bend the knees, cross the ankles, roll forward onto hands and knees, come back downward facing dog. Good. Maybe one day we'll start practicing the Ashtanga things where you would go from that position and just lift your butt and pull your knees back and jump back into plank. But for now, downward facing dog. Right leg up and back down dog split. Good. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Stack right hip on top of left. Open, 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 open. Beautiful. Lift that inner thigh, lift that inner knee, inner knee, inner knee. That's it. Good, and then point the knee towards the floor, please. Step the right foot between the hands, lunge. Drop the back heel, baby toe parallels back of your mat, cartwheel the arms up, warrior two. Good. Nice, you guys. Arms to the sky, please. Good, left hand holds right wrist, lean towards the back of your mat, reverse warrior. Good, watching that front knee continues to push wide, your right butt cheek continues to draw in. That's it. And then bring it all the way back to center, please. Beautiful. Good. Cartwheel those hands back down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. I know that's a test to see if you set your feet consciously, right? Good. So set your feet well if they're not already. Hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers at your low spine. Good. Get long through your side body. Pull your armpits up. Pull your shoulders up. Good. And then hug those upper arms back. Lift your throat longer to take your shoulders away from your ears. Strong legs. You're squeezing the feet together. Push the inner thighs wide. From your pelvis, start to lean forward. Bow forward. Stretching the arms up and over any amount. Parsvottanasana. Right butt cheek pulls way back and in. Don't let that hip swivel forward. Push your inner thighs wide. So Harriet, push those thighs wide. Right hip has to push wider. Yeah. Nice, you guys. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Ah. Good job. Then you're moving into a twisted triangle. So if you have a block and you'd like to use it, you're taking that block either to the inside edge of the front foot or to the outside edge. The outside edge is a deeper twist. Left hand is coming onto that block. Right hand comes up to your outer right hip. Pull back, pull the thigh back, pull the hip crease back, and then re-engage that back thigh. Good. Now turn your belly to the right, turn your ribs without letting your right hip pop up. Keep pulling it back. Right rib cage turns. Maybe that's as far as you go, or take that right arm to the sky. If whatever your left hand is pushing onto, push into it so your chest lifts more. Other hand, Mark. Just switch your hands. Good. Throat back. Nice. And then release that hand down to the floor, please. Beautiful. Step the left foot forward alongside the right, standing forward fold. Good. Bend your knees deeply. Drop your hips back to chair. Inhale the arms up. Hands at heart center. Prayer twist. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Good. A little bit of the pushing those inner knees wide, then anchor your big toes. Awesome. If you feel pretty good here, gaze down towards the floor. Step your right leg back to a high lunge so that you're in a twisting, prayer twisting lunge. Yeah. Awesome. Push those inner thighs wide. So Sarah, push your right hip wider, left hip in. That's it. Unwind your twist, hands to the floor. Nicely done, you guys. Step back, downward facing dog. That was fun. Let's see if I can remember all that on the second side. Slide forward to plank pose. Lower down slow, finding your breath. There's only one breath. Rise up, cobra. Good. Downward facing dog. How you are participating in these repetitive actions makes a difference. And can you go above and beyond what your habit, your habitual amount of openness is? Left leg up and back, down dog split. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the hip. Nice. Inner knee goes higher. That's it. Good. Spin that knee facing the floor. Step the left foot between the hands. Back heel comes flat. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Warrior two. Good. Still finding your breath. Front knee points towards second toe. You got it. Arms to the sky. Right hand reaches for left wrist. Pull to the back of your mat. Good. As you pull to the back of your mat, your back thigh lifts up and away. So your legs, your inner thighs get longer away from each other. Good. Pull all the way back up to center, arms wide. Nice. Cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Step that right foot forward just a little bit. Both legs come to straight, Parsvottanasana. Nice. Hands to your hips, come all the way up to stand. Good. Set your pelvis if it's not there from the first way that you did the pose so that your pelvic bones are in the same line. Hands back behind you, interlace your fingers. Good. So Laura, step your right foot wider to the right. There you go. And now you can turn your hip forward a little more. Nice. Good. Armpits lift, shoulders lift, side body gets long. Good. Push your inner thighs away from each other so that your outer hips get strong. Good. There's a power there. Good. And then start to bow forward from your pelvis. Send your groins back. Send your sit bones back. Good. And then stretch those arms up and over any amount. Watch the tendency for all the weight to fall onto the front foot. Push into the back. Nice. Good. Lisa S. Pull that left butt cheek back and in. Yes. Nice, you guys. Release the hands down to the floor. That's not an easy position, so good job. Good. Keep those inner thighs pushing wide so the outer hips, the outer thighs are staying awake. And then you're walking towards that twisting triangle. So block comes to the inside of the front foot or to the baby toe. Again, baby toe is the deeper twist. Right hand plants onto the floor or block near that front foot. Good. Left hand comes to your left hip. Pull your left hip and thigh back. Yep, scoop the belly. And then start to turn your belly open to the left. Keep pushing your inner thighs wide so that that back leg is not falling in. Good. And then maybe you take the left arm to the sky. Maybe that hand stays right where it is. Push into that right hand that's on the floor or a block so that your chest opens more. Good. Nice, Carolina. And then release back to center. Good job, you guys. Step that back foot forward. So unwind your twist first. Step the back foot forward, top of your mat. Good. Bend both knees, drop into chair, arms up alongside the ears. Good. Hands to heart center. Prayer twist, left elbow to the outside of right knee. Good. Remember your prayer twist, pull your belly away from your thighs, draw your armpits down and lift your chest up. Good. Inner knees push wide. Yeah. And then gaze down towards the floor so that you find your balance. Step your left foot back behind you. Long lunge, high lunge with the prayer twist. Good. And then push into that left hip a little more, everybody, so that you're not leaning all onto that right leg. Sarah, left hip wide. Other way. Completely the other way. There you go. Nope, other way again. There it is. Unwind, hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Yikes. Good. Nice, you guys. Oh boy. Slide forward to plank pose, lower down slow. I know, you would not, if you were on your own, would you pick out this series of poses to do? Heck no. Inhale the arms, inhale the chest up, cobra. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Would I choose this? No, but if I told you that if all of us did this really 100% with dedication and executed it to our greatest perfection, that it would create peace in the world. You do it every day, right? So what are you willing to commit yourself to if it means that there is going to be greater peace in the world? Even if no one ever knows that it's you that's doing it. Good. Drop the knees to the floor, please. We'll do a little cat and cow. Good. And then come back to stillness. Good. Sit back on your heels, Virasana. If you need a block between your feet to sit on, you can do that. But I want you sitting between your heels, not on your heels. So you're separating your feet just a little bit, knees pointing straight ahead. And again, if you need a block, use a block. But knees should be pointing straight forward from the hips. Good. Yeah, tops of the feet should be flat to the floor. Nice. And then walk your hands back behind you. Yep, onto your fingertips. Walk back, walk back, walk back. Good. And pushing down into your shins, walking back Just find the long length of your front body, find the long length of your spine. Good. So don't come all the way down, Carolina, even though it looks like you can. Good. And then where you are, press into your shins, press into your hands or your forearms. Might be a little tricky on your forearms. And I want you to lift your butt up off the block. So push down into your shins. Good. Lift the hips. That's it. Yeah. Still drawing the ribs in. Lift the hips. Stretch the thighs. Nice. And then release your butt back down to the block. Good. Walk your hands back up. Pause for a moment, just sitting straight up and down. Let your eyes close. Steady your breath. Take it out of that point where the continuous activity feels like you're just in fight or flight. It's part of what we do with things like sun salutes, part of what we do with the vinyasa style practice, where you're moving a lot more through poses, is that you're meant to be linking the breath with those movements so that your inner world, your inner system stays calm. So deepen the breath, lengthen your exhales. Come back. Creating a sense of equilibrium, because there is so much that there can be done. And if we don't stop ourselves, we can do far more than we are convinced that we're able to do. But if we get lost in the fight or flight, we get restricted, we get tight, we forget our bigness, we forget our connection, and we start fighting for survival. We do it in our minds and we start saying, I can't possibly get involved in that, I'm too busy. Can't possibly worry about that, I'm too overwhelmed. Can't possibly feel that anymore, I'm numb. So yogis, this is our greatest practice, is that can you go above and beyond what you think you are capable of being? And realize that that's what you've always been, more than what you think you're capable of. And it doesn't mean go out and exhaust yourself. It means come back to the bigness of your breath. Don't stop caring. And don't stop trying. Big breath. And then let the eyes float open. Come forward back onto hands and knees. Good. Downward facing dog. You can move your blocks if you'd like. Good. Right leg up and back, down dog split. Bring that knee forward and wide, pigeon pose. Good. Back thigh finds the floor, back knee finds the floor. Yeah. Good, then scoop your belly, please. Walk yourself forward. Good. Nice. You've heard me cue pigeon a million times, so if you can't remember at this point, press that front shin into the floor. Top of that right hip and thigh pulls back and wide. Scoop your belly so that you are bringing your pelvic bones, your sit bones down towards the floor. And then relax your upper back. Good. May all beings be happy, be peaceful, be free from suffering. And start defining for yourself what that means, because it's very broad. It's very abstract. It's very universal, and what we deal best with in our everyday lives is what's personal. So can you take that concept and redefine it as, in my personal world, my personal life, this is how I am enacting that mantra. This is how I am embodying that idea. This is my little bead on the mala, and I'm repeating it maybe over and over and over again. I'm letting it generate energy. I'm letting it get bigger, because bigger is what I am. I won't put restrictions on what I'm capable of. I will simply do what's in front of me. So may my life be a dedication to that concept, that as long as there is a need for there to be greater peace in the world, I will continuously put energy in that direction, in this very personal way, not an abstract way. Take one more deep breath. And walk yourself back up onto your fingers, please. Good. And then you're going to bend the back knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back. I'm going to say same hand, same foot for the quad stretch. Yep, so left hand for left foot. Good. Now I want you to really press that left thigh, that left knee down and pull forward, and then scoop your belly again. Good. And for some of you, if you feel pretty stable here, pushing into that front shin, you can take the right arm up alongside your ear. Good. Some of you are going to stay right where you are and just work the stretch of your thighs. Yeah, if one of us did it, we all did it. So good job, Laura. Good job, Susan. Good job, Harriet. Good job, Carolina. Good job, whole world. We did it. Release that hand, release that foot. Awesome. Lift your back knee. Pause for a moment to feel that stretch on that thigh. And then take your right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Good. And then bring that foot down to the floor, downward facing dog, slide forward to plank. Good. Vasisthasana, bring the feet together. I know you don't want to do it, but do it. Feet together, roll onto the baby toe side of your right foot, left arm to the sky. I know it is the last thing that you wanted to do. Good. Step your top foot back behind you onto your tippy toes. Lift your hips, open your heart. The thing is that you'll do it and you won't die. Good. And then bring it all the way back, downward facing dog. I won't even ask you to do a vinyasa, just downward facing dog. Without crying, that's good enough. Left leg up and back, down dog split. Good. Bring that knee forward and wide, pigeon. Good. Again, set yourself up well. And then walk yourself forward. Come down to rest. And really let yourself rest, even though this is a challenging position for the hips. Can be challenging position for the low back, for the shoulders. Good. Watch that back leg, that the foot, if it wants to just sickle in, that you don't let it just fall into unawareness. Yeah. Long breaths, deep breaths. May all beings be happy, be peaceful, be free from suffering, and may my life be a dedication to that continuously, unfailingly, tirelessly. And also, don't forget that you are part of all beings. The way that you treat yourself in your inner world and your outer world is also the way that you are participating in the world. And if the way that you treat yourself is not promoting peace, then what are you contributing to that greater space? You have to acknowledge the way that you participate in your life. And also acknowledge that whatever you are sure is your limit, that you're not capable of more or different, you're wrong. Doesn't matter how big you think you are, you're wrong. That limitation is not the end of you. And it doesn't have to be every day that you go beyond that limit, but once in a while. Once in a while, let yourself do it. And then continuously, tirelessly do what you do every day. Because it all matters. One more deep breath. Then walk yourself back up, please, onto your fingertips or blocks, whatever you need to be upright. And then bend that back knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back, same hand for the foot. So you're not going for the twist. So right hand reaching back for right ankle. Good. And that's so that you can really just work the energy of the thigh. Keep your heel in line with the middle of your right butt cheek so it's not falling inward, it's going slightly wide. And then you're pressing that thigh down and forward, lifting through the front of the pelvis. Some of you might take that left hand up off the floor. Nice, good, Mark. Good, Lisa S, and Lisa P. Awesome, you guys. Good, Laura, good, Harriet, good, Susan. And then release the hand, please, release the leg. Lift that back knee up just so for a moment you feel the stretch on that thigh. Good, and then come all the way back down, dog split. Extend that left leg up and back behind you. Good, and then step that foot down to the floor, downward facing dog. Breathe your breath. Good. And then slide forward, plank pose. Don't complain, feet together. Vasisthasana, turn onto the left baby toe, left hand holds you, right arm to the sky. Good, make it your best, not that you're failing with your effort here. Good, top foot steps back behind you up onto your tippy toes. Again, tirelessly, lift your hips. Good, Carolina. Good. Beautiful, Laura. Good, Lisa B. And then unwind. Nice, Linda. Come all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale your breath. Don't lose it. And then knees to the floor, child's pose. Now you can lose it. I know that, the classes that are up on YouTube, is this one that you're going to go back to and do over and over again? Or are you going to say, God, that was awful? Too much. Are you going to convince yourself beforehand that I don't have the energy to do that again? Yeah. Some days that'll be true, but most of the time you're wrong. Because you do have the energy to do it again. The question is your will and your desire in line with that energy? And that's your whole life. Is your will and your desire in line with how much energy you really have? Or is your energy being directed in a way that is efficient so that you can really feel its bigness? Good. Walk yourself back up, you guys. I really wish that I had all of you in a space where I had a wall so I could tell you to walk your feet up the wall in an L-shaped handstand as your last pose. If you have a wall, I'm going to ask you to do it. Again, last thing that you want to do. If you don't, maybe forearm dog you can play around with. Good. You could even come into shoulder stand if that walking your feet up a wall into an L shape is not going to work. But if you have a wall handy that you can do that, starts in down dog with your heels on that wall space, walk your feet up. Awesome. Yeah, you might be able to do it, Mark. I'm not sure with the perspective. Yeah, L-shaped handstand. I know. And now you can't ever say that you don't have room in your house to do a handstand again. Yeah, you got it, Mark. Nice. Stay there. Steady. Longer than you've ever held before. Ribs in. Push your butt to the sky, Mark. Ribs in. Ribs in. Good. One more deep breath. Good. Butt up, Linda. Yes. And then feet down. Walk it down. Oh, child's pose or sit on your heels. Thank you. Felt good, didn't it? If you haven't been doing a handstand. Yeah. Admit it to yourself. It felt good. You're like, never again. But yes, it felt good. And then slowly release, please. Come on down to find your way onto your backs. Yeah, onto your backs. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Let your knees drop wide, Baddha Konasana. Arms can be in cactus arms, overhead, holding opposite elbows. You can rest your hands on your belly if you'd like. Whatever you want to do with your arms that makes you happy. Just rest in supine Baddha Konasana. Again, maybe placing blocks underneath the knees if you want it to be a little bit more of a restorative feeling. Less of a pull on the legs. Place blocks underneath the knees or pillows or whatever you have available. I say knees, but sometimes it'll actually be your outer thighs that are actually touching the prop. That's fine. And then breathe really deeply. In a very personal way. Experience your breath as though it is one universal breath. Maybe you have no idea where it came from. One of my favorite things to contemplate is that, our breath is shared. So the breath that you're breathing was literally breathed by another being for you. And so as you take it in, you have no idea maybe where it came from. You can't identify what plants or what creatures created it. But you breathe it in. And you breathe out into that collective breath. And maybe you have no idea who or what is going to breathe in what you've breathed out. And it doesn't matter what breathes it in. What matters is what are you contributing to that shared collective breath. And you'll never complain about breathing being too repetitive, will you? Because you'd be in big trouble if you stopped. So can you go beyond your sense of what you think you are capable of, what you think you are limited to? In a very personal way, breathe that universal breath. And then as you're ready, begin to bring the knees back towards each other. Bring the right knee in towards your chest, extend the left leg down to the floor. Come into spinal twist, bring that knee across your body. Left arm goes wide or up over the ear, whichever is your preference. Optional, if you want one more quad stretch, is to bend the left knee that is extended straight. Reach back with your right hand for the foot or the ankle, and then relax that right shoulder back down towards the floor. Good. And then slowly release that, unwinding the legs, coming back to center, pulling the right knee in towards the chest, squeeze. Good, and then send that right leg down to the floor, pull the left knee in towards your chest. Nice, come across the body, spinal twist. Left arm goes wide or up over the ear. And if you want that final quad stretch, the right leg that is extended, bend the knee, kick your heel towards your butt, reach down for the foot or the ankle. And again, relaxing the left shoulder down towards the floor. That's what makes this twist feel exciting. It's a deep, long stretch for the muscles of the back, as well as the hips. Good, and then slowly release and unwind that, coming back to center, hugging the left knee in. Good. Pull the right knee in with it, squeeze. Widen your knees just a little bit, so it's like you're in child's pose on your back. Pressing the front of the shins. Yeah, so you press the tops of the front of the shins in, push your shins back against your hands. Yeah, it's so funny, all of your ideas of what child's pose looks like if you're on your back. Knees towards your armpits. Good, pull. Press your low back down. Beautiful. And then bring the knees together, forehead up to meet your knees. Hug. And then release everything. Extend the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms up. Let your feet drop open. If you have a mantra that you work with, maybe let it be part of your Shavasana. If you'd like to work with Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, you can repeat that internally with your breath. Another really beautiful one is just so hum. Inhaling so, exhaling hum. So we are dissolving that sense of me doing and you receiving. And finding that shared space that's just, there's a need that's in front of me, and I'm dedicated to fulfilling it. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. The body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. As you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bringing your hands together, palm to palm at the heart center, or whatever mudra has been serving you well. But hands at the heart, Anjali Mudra is a nice one because it says, how may I serve? And how may I serve in a way that doesn't come with that feeling of, what if I don't get enough back? What if I end up overextending myself? What if it turns out I'm not enough? What if this doesn't make any difference? What if that isn't the right thing? So maybe I won't do anything at all. The how may I serve says none of that thinking matters. What matters is that if there's a sincere desire to meet the needs of the world, is you will do what's in front of you. And you may never get a thank you. And you don't need it. Because you're sharing that collective breath, you're sharing that collective energy. And yes, in a personal way, you must take care of yourself. And also in a personal way, be aware that how you limit yourself, what you're sure is the end of your capability, you're wrong. So give yourself the chance now and then to go above and beyond, simply because there are beings that need it, and because you have the ability to meet that need. In whatever small way or big way, you have the ability. So embody that desire for peace with what you do, in big ways and little ways: body, mind, spirit, thought, word, and deed. That's it. You're already part of the mala. It's already being repeated through you over and over again. Just don't get tired. Keep trying. We'll close the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week until I see you again. Interesting, fun heads up is this Sunday, I'm actually subbing Linda's yin class for her at 8 a.m. So that'll be fun. So if you're a Sunday morning yin person, I will see you then. If you're not usually, you can come see me at 8 a.m. on Sunday.